Hello, Professor Bright here. Welcome back to House of Many Doors, where it's time to move forward. It's time to go forward towards escaping the house. Last episode we spent on Ransack Morton. It was a lovely story, and I am curious about some of the revelations therein. But we're going to ignore them for now. Right now we have a heist to plan. And maybe it cheers up Ransack Morton. He he's got some issues now on account of the whole wanting to be hero, and then, I say. Plan the factory heist. Hopefully it cheers him up a bit. The factory is a bloated concrete beast, devouring things and people, expelling waste from 1,000 orifices. It is a fortress, a laboratory, an industrial hub, a seat of government. But more than that, the citizens whisper that it exists across multiple dimensions. That's even bigger inside than out. Its layout changes daily to baffle enemy spies. All you need to do is break into its deepest, most closely guarded vault. Great. This will require talent. Make sure you gather together your most loyal crew before you begin. And you will need a fetch mirror. Well, I fortunately have a few of those, so sure, let's plan this heist. Ooh. Oh, I see. Well, you gather your crew around the headboard, which has been carefully prized from the bed. It's still engraved with the intricate map of the factory you scratched in your sleep. The factory's front gate is impossibly well guarded. You'll have better luck getting in via the mirror-wise, although of course the governor has placed defenses there as well. Once you're inside, you'll need to make your way down to the vaults, which are behind another locked door and layer of security. The key is held in the deepest vault of all, past a 6-foot-thick stone door and a web of occult safeguards. You'll need to assemble a crack team. Yeah. I mean, most of these guys are as loyal to me as they're gonna get, but a few of these positions I'm not sure who to fill with, but we'll get into that later. An infiltrator. The infiltrator will be your man or woman on the inside. Someone who can gain access via the front gate while you sneak in through the mirror-wise. They'll add you to the authorization list and feed your blood to the identification banks, which will hopefully allow you to go unnoticed for a time. Make sure you pick a crew member who has pre-existing ties to the factory and the governor. Well, I mean, to my knowledge, only one person this could be. Augustus Ribbons. He used to work for the military. He's probably as close to a factory inside man as I can get. Hopefully. Is this basically the suicide mission from Mass Effect? I feel like it is. Oh boy. Well, assign a charmer, and all joking aside, I think we all know who this is gonna be. The charmer will fast talk you past the guards in an emergency, yep, and help you trick your way down to the vaults. Make sure you pick a crew member with a smart mouth. Yeah, let's be honest, I might hate her, but she is really good at getting friends in high places, somehow. Not entirely clear how she pulls it off, but Sandy Brackett, you do the talking for us. What do we want in a distraction, though? The distraction will draw most of the factory guards to them, allowing your sneak thief to steal keys and disable alarms unopposed. Make sure you pick a crew member capable of making a great deal of fuss and noise. You know what? Ransack Morton. You know what? He's a very boisterous character, or at least was until we kind of destroyed his dream of becoming a hero, but maybe he will be a great distraction. At the very least, I expect he can take a few guards, and I mean, who else do I have? Nicholas Verdun, I don't know him well enough. Genevieve is a vampire. I suppose she would be a good distraction, but knowing what I know about vampires, maybe good as muscle? Although, might be the other way around. Although, vampires, as I understand it, are just superior to human beings in terms of, physical, physical traits. Basically, I'm saying she could probably kick his ass. So, I'm okay with that. Sneak thief, here's the thing, pen pusher? No. He's a giant shark man. That ain't happening. Zhang Basho? everybody knows what mice and I are like. I mean, I'm not saying it like that, but he's a mice and I in a human-dominated society. I don't think he's going to be able to sneak on by. Lucetta might be able to. Although I do need... Well, guys, Muscle, I'm going to assign Genevieve, because, vampire. If things go wrong, Genevieve Call will step in to crack some heads. I believe that. She murders vampires. That's kind of what she does. Should read whatever this was about, though. Hopefully things will go according to plan. If not, the Muscle will have to kill a lot of human beings. Yeah, make sure you pick a crew member who doesn't mind getting elbow deep in blood. Yep. That's my girl. Now, Occultist, I think that should be me, because I have a ridiculously high esoterica. It's what I'm good at. Although I wouldn't be bad as a sneak thief either, but then, unfortunately in terms of Occultists, maybe Zhang Basho, maybe, but that's very iffy, and Pen Pusher, God bless you, but absolutely not. And if we need a safecracker... I mean, Nicholas, I just don't know you well enough. Lucetta, I know you can handle yourself. She managed to steal the carnivore heart. I think she can bypass a few locks. But maybe she should be the distraction. Because didn't she distract people? No. Well, it depended on what I chose for the carnivore heart, so... You know what? I trust you. And Verdant, I know literally nothing about you, but my other options are terrible. So... Don't die? Like, all I know about him is I think he's an anarchist. I think that's actually all I know about the guy. Well, let's set the plan into motion. Let's see how this turns out. Also, curious, the key to the orchard... If it's in the deepest vaults of the factory, how do they know? Do they know what it is? And how? Curious. But yes, set the plan into motion. You take a moment to assess your crew. Through the window behind them, the factory's chimneys loom. A test of spirit. This calls for a rousing speech. You slam a knife into the table and all eyes turn to you. No one ever pretended this would be easy, you tell your team. But you've already done the impossible together, haven't you? You discovered the City of Glass, built the house's strangest museum, overthrew the Chimeric Empire, and explored further than any poet before you. You're Brian Bright, and they're your crew. Together you make the impossible routine. The room erupts in cheers. Aw. Let's speak to everybody individually, though. It might help to know how they feel about the impending heist. When I was 7, I stole half a guinea from my father's piggy bank, says Augustus. It haunted me until I was 40 years old. Oh, Christ, don't tell me that. Now I'm going to help you commit grand larceny and treachery against state. He snorts a laugh. See, you're making me think that you might not be the best infiltrator, but you're the best option I got. Nicholas is feverish with excitement. This is it, he hisses. This is the most daring strike against the governor since ever. Wait until the society hears about this. What's this about a society? I've been in the factory before, of course, says Sandy. I must have told you about my torrid affair with the governor. He smuggled me in through a secret passage every day, and we made beautiful, beautiful love atop the same desk where he signed the death warrants of enemies of state. Of course you did, Sandy. Of course you did. Now this will be one for the history books. Renzak grins and thumps the table. What are we waiting for? My man. I love this guy. Genevieve runs through the plan with you a second, third, and fourth time, each time offering a slew of criticisms and suggested changes. Finally, she seems satisfied. This is going to be interesting, she says. We broke into the Cathedral of Stolen Gods, you and I, says Lucetta. I'm sure the factory is nothing in comparison, right? Sure. Let's go with that. Send Augustus to enact the first stage of the plan. I don't have any better options. Just go with it. After several days of preparation, forging past papers, rehearsing backstories, perfecting disguises, you're ready. Augustus will need to enter the factory first and pave the way for the rest of you. The syringe slips smoothly into your arm. I'll need samples from all of you, Augustus says as the vial turns red. His face is set with grim resolve. Once inside, I'll add your names to the registry. That should be enough to get you in the main building, but I can't help you access the vaults. Finally, he's taken blood from each of you. My reputation and military record should get me through the door, but I've not been in the factory often, he admits. If I run into any problems, please look after Waif. With a solemn farewell, he turns and walks the long road to the factory's front gate. You get back, soldier, alright? You make it home. Past the coils of barbed wire, past the watchtowers, past a legion of soldiers and snipers, you watch from a distance as his governor's men stop and search him, check his paperwork, take his blood, spend half an hour interrogating him. And then the great factory door grinds open to swallow Augustus whole. Wait for the signal. 4 hours later, a glimmer of light at a factory window. 1, 2, 3 flashes of a lantern. This was the signal. Augustus has succeeded in his task, now it's up to you. Unless, of course, he's betrayed you, or if he's been caught and told them what the passcode was, but should be fine. You exchange nods with your assembled team. No one speaks, everyone knows what they must do. Step into the Mirrorwise, the glass shatters around you. The Mirrorwise embraces you like an eager lover, fronds of shimmering froth swirling around your legs, giant frogs flying above on wings of silver, the usual chaos. But something's different. A little way ahead, where you'd expect to find the factory topside, you're instead confronted by a vast ocean of slurry. No mad colors, no kaleidoscopic anarchy. Just a gray-brown lake, pulsing unpleasantly, stretching for miles. You approach the stain cautiously. The Mirrorwise is a place of unreal color and light, not smell. Nothing here should be real enough to smell. Yet the sea of slime is an exception. Its fetid stench makes your knees weak. Approach the stain, beat your way through a wall of odor. You bury your face in your sleeve and press forward, the rest of your crew gagging and coughing behind you. As you approach the ocean stain, its surface ripples and parts. Something much larger than a whale rises. The slime cascades away. The lurker resembles nothing so much as an enormous leather sack, stitched with 1,000 solemn faces. The colossal monstrosity beaches, outstretches one face among the hundreds, opens a single mouth. A fang gleams. Well, I dragged everybody into this. I think it's only right that I, be the first one in. Prefer a wrist. As you pull up your sleeve, the face's nostrils twitch. Okay. The fang slides into your wrist. A splinter of agony shivers up your arm. It drinks for a moment, then squirms back. Blood recognized booms the sacked thing. 1,000 badly stitched faces crease into 1,000 unconvincing smiles. Pass. One by one, your crew submit to the creature's taste test. Once it's satisfied, it opens the mouth to the size of a tunnel, allowing you to clamber down into its slime-dripping innards. You walk for a seeming eternity down the gullet, finally coming across a dead end and a single square of glass. This must be it, the only mirror in the factory and the only way in through the Mirrorwise. Beyond the glass, on the factory side, a grumpy-looking guard is waiting. Identify yourselves. You give him your name and he flicks through a file at his side. Well, you're on the register, he admits grudgingly, and you breathe a silent sigh of relief. Augustus managed to add you in time. But I've not seen you before. What's your reason for being here? Yeah, Sandy Brackett, do your thing. Is that how you greet a personal friend of the governor? Demands Sandy. I come through every week. Don't you recognize me? The guard frowns. No, I don't. Ah, Sandy rolls her eyes. I forgot. The governor always has your memory wiped. Can't have our little tryst being publicized, can we? There'd be such a scandal. She waves her hand, apparently bored. Chop chop, let me through, and don't try to search me unless you want to explain your impoliteness to the governor. The guard snaps a salute, steps back, and you surge through the mirror glass. God bless you. Into the factory beyond. Ooh. On the other side of the glass, a room suspended in blackness. No ceiling, no walls, an endless void filled with mirrors. Thousands of glass panes, or millions, gliding on cables in a vast moving lattice that spreads as far as you can see in every direction. Your own face stares at you from countless angles. The guard sits on a stool in the corner of the suspended platform, sipping a coffee and flicking through a newspaper. Go on ahead, he says, pulling a lever. 4 mirrors descend and rotate around the platform slowly, your face vanishing and replaced by a different image in each. This is curious. First mirror depicts an enormous mechanical beast roaring at a starry sky. I mean, I'm kind of all about all that. The second mirror, a bookshelf, but every tome is replaced by another bookshelf, and so on. Third mirror, a mass grave. Every limb is twitching. Nope. fourth mirror, a woman stares back at you. She's wearing a wooden mask of your own face. Curious, although I do like... Alright, let's think. So, we got these mirrors. I don't know what this choice affects. But as far as I can see, there aren't any kind of skill checks, so it should be fine regardless of what I choose. It's just a matter of what thing we will see. And I kind of want to see an enormous mechanical beast. I'm curious. Let's go. You fall amongst shards into a vast, shallow lake. Stars glitter in the sky above a sky? Are you even in the factory anymore? At first you think it's a mountain, but the thing at the center of the lake is an enormous steel spider, huger even than the Tyrannic, sitting on its back. Mechanical legs stretch miles into the air. It's surrounded by scaffolding, the distant glimmer of welding, the soft repetitive clang of hammers hitting metal. You and your team wade through the enormous lake, finally reaching a wooden doorframe, standing unsupported in the water. Impossibly, it opens onto a long stone corridor. Ooh. Dread machinations. So someone's building something... Obviously a weapon similar to the Tyrannic, except bigger. Preparing for a war against who exactly, though? As you step through, a vast red eye opens in this metal spider's side and focuses on you. You shut the door. The factory is infested with guards of all kinds. Governor's men, of course, but also alarm ghosts, combat golems, giant floating skulls with eyes like spotlights. You need to send Nicholas Verdant to disable the alarms, but this will be impossible unless the guards are distracted. You nod to Ransack Morton. It's time. Thank God I chose this guy, because he is gonna be having a fun time down here. Ransack grins and doffs his cap. I'm something of an expert at making a ruckus, he says. His face twists and reddens with abrupt, hideous rage. He dashes up the corridor with a hoarse scream of fury. Moments later, the shouting begins. Oh, I love this guy. A dozen guards rush past to deal with the disturbance, not sparing you a second glass. You nod to Nicholas. Back in a jiffy, he says, although his bravado slips into a mask of terror as he turns away. Shoot. He unscrews a grate from the wall, revealing a vent full of screaming ghosts. The factory's power supply. Oh, that's cool. And slips in, letting the torrent of specters whisk him away. Oh, that's... The whole thing's powered by ghosts. Ooh, suddenly a booming voice echoes down the corridor. All guards to corridor E33-12. Intones a voice from above. Internal threat is code yellow. Repeat, code yellow. Remember your training. Good job, Ransack. Good job. Wait for Nicholas to return. Nicholas reemerges from the ghost vent 10 minutes later, plucking a strand of ectoplasm from his sleeve. Bad news, he says. The command room was empty, just as planned, but there are no keys. The vault must be locked some other way. I managed to disable alarms, at least. He holds up a red ribbon candle. And I snagged this, too. It was in a glass case. Looked important. Head to the vault. You couldn't find a key, but time is running out. Ransack Morton meets you on the way. Thank God you survived, man. Having apparently slipped away from the chaos. As you rush down the maze-like corridors, you pass rooms carpeted in green fire, or crowded with severed heads in bubbling jars, or filled with indistinct figures suspended in smoke. You ignore them all. Down, down, endlessly down. The door to the vault is a colossal slab of rune-shimmering iron. Far too thick to blow open, and instead of a keyhole, it has an eye scanner and a fingerprint scanner. Carved into the wall beside it is an alcove marked Memory Search Station. Footsteps from further up the corridor. A guard's coming. Yeah, I'm not going to take that risk. So, Genevieve, you're up. The governor's man swings his pistol, but it's too late. Genevieve is upon him, blades flashing, and he folds up like a broken concertina. She drags the softly moaning governor's man into the memory search station, pulls a nozzle from the wall, and plugs it into the side of his head. After a moment, the screen flashes green. No dishonest intention detected. Announces a pleasant voice, just as the governor's man coughs and expires. After that, it's just a matter of holding up the dead man's eye and finger to the scanning machines. The fingerprint scanner bites off his entire fingertip and promises to return it only when he leaves. That's some security system you got right there. Okay, the door to the vaults swings ponderously open. Just bites off a fingertip? Oh god, that... nope. Picturing that. Oh well. The door to the vaults swings ponderously open. Let's go inside. The darkness in the vaults looks hungry. Remembering the candle, you strike a match on the wall and light it with care. The flame is blue, the darkness recedes. Down into the dark. The key you seek is held in Vault 001. The nearest door is marked Vault 746. This is going to be a long walk. You march into the darkness, your footsteps ringing like hammer on stone. The candle is still burning. Down to the dark. You walk past countless vault doors, each of which looks a little more impregnable than the last. Some are built of warding iron, some of witch glass, some of simple concrete. There are stranger doors, too. Is that hardened god blood, red, black, and twisted? Is that a vast mouth, lips tightly sealed? Vault 412, Vault 411. Still a long way to go. The candle's still burning. Deeper. Alright, finally you reach Vault 001. The iron door shimmers with 1,000 twisting runes, interweaving and interlocking. The very sight of it makes you nauseous. The candle is burned down to 2/3 of its height. Spent a whole day walking through? Okay. It's a very, very big factory. Oh, so many questions. But, a test of esoterica. Unpick the various curses and enchantments. You sit cross-legged on the floor and draw a circle in chalk. Remind yourself, occultism isn't about drawing on inner power or some external force. It's about convincing the house to temporarily follow the laws of another world's reality. You set up a string of bells, a watchful skull, a few other items of classic occult miscellany, but these are reminders of worlds where magic is functional. And that's not what you need. You're trying to undo magic, not create it. You knock them aside. Useless. You cut your palm and dip a silver-nibbed pen in the blood. Salt and silver, that's the ticket. You write new runes on the door, perfectly mirrored parallels of those already there. You chant a list of elements from the periodic table in the dictionary definition of the word mundane. The runes on the door blink out, one by one. The curses are disabled. The candle is half gone. Wax drips to the floor. Lucetta Quetzal begins unpacking tools. I acquired some thermite for just the occasion. Where? Why? Okay, says Lucetta. She leans over the door's lock and there's a blinding white light. After several moments, there's a plink. The lock falls to the floor, neatly burned away, and the door swings open. The candle's a twisted lump. The blue flame is dimming. Step into the vault. You've made it. The floor of Vault 001 is carpeted by keys. The golden key sits at the center, atop a marble pedestal. You pocket it. Behind you, a cacophony of shouts and clumping boots. You'd love to stay and gather more, but there are guards on the way, and you don't have much time. Leave the factory, and you place your fetch mirror on the floor. The candle's almost gone out, and the guards are getting closer. You step in the glass, motioning for your crew to follow. Mirror glass shatters beneath you, shouts of rage behind. Up through the sacked monster's gullet. Ignore the taunting faces that appear on the walls around you. Ignore the things that follow. Finally, you break out into the mirror-wise proper, where chaos and color fold you into their anarchic embrace. You flee through the kaleidoscope psychedelia, paying no attention to where you're going, breathing hard, clutching your hard-won key close to your chest. All the demons of the factory are pouring out behind you. Finally, you lose your pursuers amidst the madness. You've gotten hopelessly lost. In a way, it doesn't matter where you come out. It's not like you'll ever be able to go back to the City of Keys. You jump through the nearest mirror. Who knows where it'll take you? Ooh, Panichak. I'll gather news, I suppose, but unless I am much mistaken... Let's look at this map real quick. Yeah, that's right by the door to the orchard. Ooh, I am tempted. To just go there, but... No. We need to leave something for the last episode of A House of Many Doors. That's a matter for the future. For now, thank you for your time. Note the like, comment, and subscribe buttons below. Use them responsibly. Thank you for that music cue, and I will see you all soon.